right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thanks for making the time. And for anybody who's online, or will be later, thank you for coming as well. All right, so this is our second gathering of these meditations leading up to Hanukkah, Chag Urim, the Festival of Lights. So let's move into this. Let's begin. I want to encourage you to get yourself really comfortable in your seat, as comfortable as you can be. And while the meditation part is going on, if you need to shift your position to get more comfortable, if the way you're sitting feels uncomfortable, feel free to move as you need to. And when you feel like your posture is appropriate for you, I'll invite you to just let your eyes just softly close, or you can pick out a spot on the floor in front of you to just focus on. But if you're able to let your eyes just be gently shut, that is great. So, I want to begin with a sense of what in Hebrew we call hoda'ah, with a sense of gratitude, but hoda'ah also has a flavor of the word acknowledgement. To be grateful and to acknowledge the blessing of our togetherness and the blessing of the fact that you have been able to set a kavanah, an intention, to be here, whether here at the temple, or perhaps those of you who might be watching at home, and including those who can't make it right now but will access this on video on YouTube at some later point. To be grateful that you have been able to fulfill this kavanah, this intention, to bring it to reality. And as well, making space for gratitude that you are not alone. Whether here in this room or at home or at some point later on, you are supported by the efforts of everyone who participates and is part of this time together. And in so many ways, this mutual support is at the heart of what it is to be part of a kahal, or a kehillah, a community. In your presence, and in the presence of all the others who have made this honorable effort to be here, in your presence and in the presence of those around you, there is ahava, there is love, there is re'ut, there is friendship, there is kavod, dignity, honor. And there is also oz, there is also strength. There is also strength because there is not a lot in our world and in our day-to-day lives that supports the practice of setting aside time to be still, and of experiencing a measure of shalom, of peace, and of shlemut, of wholeness, that we might feel more at one with ourselves, more at one with the Holy and Infinite One, and more at one and present and awake in our own lives. So to be here is to acknowledge that this practice of being still in community is important and is sacred. So we might hold in our hearts at this moment a silent Shehachianu. Thank you, God, that I have been sustained in life and in strength, and that I have reached this moment of peace and of quiet. And that is a cause for hoda'ah, that is a cause for gratitude. So I want to invite us to draw our attention into not thoughts of being present, but to draw our attention to the physical sensations of being here. And that may come to you, that sense of physical presence, by noticing the way that the chair is holding you up, supporting you. The sense of your own physical substance and presence here may come to you by noticing places where one part of your body is connected to another, is in contact. So for example, noticing how your arms are resting in your lap, if they are, or noticing how your hands are touching each other, or perhaps how your fingers are intertwined. We might say in this way that we are embodying the quality of, as we mentioned last time, a very important Hebrew word from Torah. The word is hineni. Here I am. And in this hineni, in this awareness of our presence, there is also a measure of freedom in the knowledge that you have chosen to be here and that you are in community with others who have made this choice as well. You might even imagine the perspective of a candle in the Hanukkah, that you are like one of those lights glowing, beautiful, pushing back darkness. Maybe it's the first night, and your light and the light of the shamash, the servant candle that lights the others are the only lights aglow. Or perhaps it's the fourth night. Half the Hanukkah, half of the 8 candles are now lit, one next to the other. And so your light combines with the light of the others around you. You add to each other's light. And perhaps it's the 8th night. And you stand as one with all the others. And your light shines brightly. And you are beautiful. And your soul is beautiful. And the beauty of your soul amplifies and multiplies the beauty of the light of the souls around you. When we come to Hanukkah each year, I like to think that we dust off the blessings that we only say at that time. Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Hanukkah. You make us holy with mitzvot. You command us to light the Hanukkah lights. And then the blessing that follows, Sha'asa nisim lavotenu, you performed miracles for our ancestors, bayamim hahem, in those far-off days, bazman hazeh, at this time of year. But there is also a beautiful, and especially in the original Hebrew, passage that it is traditional to read after the candles are lit. It's called Hanerot Halalu. It's in the particular style of the Hebrew of Mishnah and Talmud. Modern Hebrew would be Hanerot Ha'elu, or Ha'ela. It begins, Hanerot Halalu, these lights, and it goes on to say, these lights that we kindle, Kodesh Haim, they are holy. And then, a phrase that always makes me smile because it sounds like modern Hebrew in many ways, the text says, Ein lanu reshut lehishtamesh bahem. We do not have permission to make use of them, that is, for reading a newspaper or for doing cleaning or for heat or for any utilitarian purpose. Ein lanu, it says, Ein lanu reshut lehishtamesh bahem. We don't have permission to make use of them. Ela lir'otam bilvad. Only rather to behold them. We don't use the light, we just behold it. And then it says, why? To remind us of the miracles and the miracle of our own survival as a people. The miracle of Hanukkah. And I am moved every time I read that passage by this idea of a light which is not for using, a flame which is not for cooking, not for seeing, not for doing work, but rather just to behold it and to remember. So before we go into silence, let's return to part of our practice last week when we worked with the idea of The phrase from Torah, "V'asuli mikdash v'shachanti b'tocham," let them make me a sanctuary that I may dwell, and we read it as that I may dwell within them. And this Jewish idea, this interpretation that every person has an interior mishkan, an internal dwelling place of the divine presence, like the mishkan, like the tabernacle that the Israelites make in the wilderness. And we imagined the glow of that light in that inner space, the glow of chiyut, of vitality, the glow of neshama, of soul or spirit. So let's amplify that meditation with this idea that this light, like the lights of Hanukkah, are not for using, but for beholding. So imagine what that unique light within your interior soul, your sacred space, your mishkan, what quality does your unique light have? And specifically, what human virtues, what midot we say in the language of Musar, what qualities are found in that flame, that interior flame of yours? There might be endurance, there might be courage, you might notice in that flame love, compassion, rachamim. Oz, strength. No one else has a flame, has a light, has an interior spark exactly like yours. And so we remember, lo lehishtamesh, right? We're not using this light, we're just beholding it. See how beautiful your inner light is. Know, as we say in every morning service, that your neshama is tahara, that it is pure and holy, and can never be other than pure and holy. This is a given. It is part of your humanity. Lo lehishtamesh, not to use that flame, ela lir'oto bilvad, just to see it, to behold it. And in that beholding, to remember that you are a child of God, always, no matter what. So I want to invite you to just, together in community, take a minute or so to be with that light and to sit with its beauty, however you imagine it, however you envision it. And perhaps even with each in-breath to bring more strength and more beauty to that light. So, we're going to transition from this part of our time together, this silence, by singing, as we do. And this is one of many lovely little nigunim, little melodies written by Rabbi Shefa Gold. And the words come from both Shirat Hayam, the Song of the Sea, from Exodus in the Torah. Also, it's found in Sefer Tehillim in the Book of Psalms. And the words are Ozi v'zimrat Yah, Ozi v'zimrat Yah, which means something like, God is my strength and my... Zimra sounds like it comes from the Hebrew word zemer, meaning song, but it also apparently can mean something like a fortress or a refuge. And then Vayehi li lishua, and God for me is safety, is rescue, if you will. So sing it through a few times as you pick it up, and yeah. Ozi v'zimrat Yah, Vayehi li lishua. So beautiful. Ozi v'zimrat Yah, Vayehi li lishua. Here's the second part. Ozi v'zimrat Yah, Vayehi li lishua. And again. Ozi v'zimrat Yah, Vayehi li lishua. Good, that's the whole thing. Ozi v'zimrat Yah, Vayehi li lishua. 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 One last time. Ozi v'zimrat Yah, Vayehi li lishua. 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 So please don't rush. Take your time. And in your own time, when you feel like you are ready to let your eyes open, and not a minute before, So, yeah, again, I'll just say I love that phrase, in Hanerot Halalu, Ein Lanu Reshut Lehishtamesh Bahem. We're not supposed to use them for any utilitarian purpose. Ela Lirotam Bilvad, just to see them. So speaking of the light, which is kind of our theme, inner light, outer light, Arnold, you asked me, so what's your Devar Torah going to be about at the board meeting tomorrow night? So this may be it, and you may hear it again. So with your indulgence, this may be a preview. Of the many joys that I am grateful for of being at Temple Emmanuel of Tempe, and there are many, hanging out on Sunday mornings and helping to lead tefillah with the religious school kids is a particular treat. It's super fun. We have a younger group first and then an older group later on. And so I had told the older group, maybe the younger group too, I don't know, the most famous of the Rabbi Hillel, Rabbi Shammai stories, in which this fellow comes to Rabbi Shammai and says, I want to be Jewish. And by the way, the kids, I've taught them, we have this whole like vaudeville thing now that goes on. I said, and they remembered it, I said, but the guy says to Rabbi Shammai, I'm really, and I went like this, and they all said, busy. And I said, I got places too, and they all say, go. And I said, and I got people too, and they all say, see, right? So what does Rabbi Shammai do, right? Rabbi Shammai kind of says, you're wasting my time, this is disrespectful, I can't teach you the whole Torah while I stand on one foot. I didn't tell this to the kids, but the Mishnah in Pirkei Avot actually says he repulsed him with the builder's cubit that he had in his hand, which I pictured just kind of whacked him on the booty and sent him on his way. So then he goes to, and the great thing about telling a story like this to kids is you can get as corny as you want and they love it, right? So, all right, so then he goes to Rabbi Hillel and I knocked on the lectern, right? And Rabbi Hillel, I got places to go, I got people to see, and Hillel, to the kids, right? Does Rabbi Hillel slam the door in his face? No. What does Rabbi Hillel say? And I think one of them actually remembered. The way I taught it to them was, if you don't like it, never do it to anybody else. That's the whole Torah. Now go study. Okay. So this was an opportunity this week because I want to get them pumped up for Hanukkah, right? For some reason besides presents, right? So, and latkes, right? So I said, well, here's another Hillel Shammai story. I said, Rabbi Hillel and Rabbi Shammai, it's also in the Talmud, Rabbi Hillel and Rabbi Shammai have a disagreement about how to light Hanukkah candles. Anybody know this famous one? Right? Yeah. Right. So I said to them, Rabbi Hillel says, and then they count on their fingers, right? First night, 1, second night, 2, and so on, right? Until you get up to 8 nights. Rabbi Shammai says, no, the first night you light 8 candles, and you take one away each night. Well, why? Well, Hillel says, there are other things too about the candles corresponding to how many animals were offered as sacrifices during the festival, but he says, well, you should be able to look at the Hanukkah, at the menorah, and tell what night it is. Shammai's rationale is, no, you should be able to look at the Hanukkah and tell how many nights are left. So I said to the kids, well, which way do we do it? Hillel's way or Shammai? Hillel's way, right? And this question popped into my head, and I said, why are you happy that we do it Rabbi Hillel's way? And this is where you learn that every Jewish child is a genius. Because the stuff they came up with was outrageous, and it was unbelievably deep. I wish I had videotaped this. One kid said, well, because if every night you look at it Rabbi Shammai's way and you know how many lights are left, it's like you're in a hurry to get the holiday over. This kid's going to be a therapist, right? Like, I don't know, right? I don't know why I say therapist, but right, something like that, right? Another kid said, well, because it would be depressing for it to get darker and darker.
That's the thing that they say, to add one light every night, you're adding one light.
Right. That's right. And it's no accident that Hanukkah comes close to the winter solstice, right? Like the darkest time of the year, and you're kindling these lights. Oh God, I wish I could remember some of the other things that they said. One little girl actually used the word diminish. Our parents are therapists. Right. So anyway, so we did all that. So then I said, here's what Rabbi Hillel says. Rabbi Hillel says, and some of the kids had come so close to this, it was amazing. I said, Rabbi Hillel says that when it comes to things that are holy, we always seek to increase and not to decrease. If there's an opportunity for Kedusha, for holiness, you try to, and that's what the light represents. But I wanted to share that because they think, and they're deep, and you think developmentally that, kids, second grade, third grade, this would be like fourth through sixth grade, that they don't do abstract thought, but they really do. Like, they're thinking symbolically, and they're in it. So I wanted to share that just because these children are our children, whether we have children or not, whether we're related to them or not, and it's really inspiring and beautiful to see them just kind of, resonating with this, and thinking about it in this real heart kind of way. Anyway, so we need to bring this to a close. Let's do our standing up thing. We stand in hoda'ah, we stand in gratitude for this opportunity to be together as a kehillah kadosha, as a holy community, to share some peaceful and loving time together. And may some of this peace and love and goodwill accompany us as we go on our separate ways. Yivarechacha Adonai v'yishmerecha, may the Holy One bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'choneka, may the Holy One shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom, may the Holy One be with you and help you to find shalom, wholeness and peace in a world of justice, healing, safety, equality, and peace, l'chol yoshvei tevel, for all who dwell on this earth. And together we say, Amen. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks for making the time. So appreciate you. Yeah. All right. So I'm now supposed to run and stick my head in another Hebrew class. And go, hi, I'm the rabbi.
You are, right? Okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah, I will. All right. Let's see. Everybody online, bye. Yeah.